Greetings all. I hope you're doing okay in these uncertain times we find ourselves in. I know many of you have been thinking and praying for Helen's family, Helen Lawson's family and Peter Jameson's family with the funerals on Monday and Tuesday. And obviously sad to have not been able to be there. So I wanted just to briefly let you know how they both went. Obviously we had to do them quite differently than we would have done otherwise. It felt pretty strange to have to remain 2 meters apart the chairs were all separated, so things felt different, and yet we were very aware of God's kindnesses to us in all sorts of ways. We laughed together as we remembered happy memories of Helen's life and Peter's life. We sang songs, we were comforted together in God's by God's word. I just wanted to turn your attention to Isaiah 40. We looked at Isaiah 40 at Helen's funeral on Monday. It's a favourite passage of Helen's, and it was great to look at that together. Here's some words from Isaiah 40 verse 25 if you wanted to look at them. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens, who created all these. He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. If you felt anything like me this last week, you'll have felt pretty weak. Anything but powerful and strong as is spoken of there. And yet as we look up at the stars on a clear night, we see on full display God's incredible power and strength, each star placed there by him. And the wonderful news in Isaiah 40 is what God does with his strength. If you've got your Bible open, do look at Isaiah 40 verse 29. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. The great news in Isaiah is how God uses his strength, and he uses his strength to give strength to the weak. In fact, God's always specialised in giving strength in the place of weakness. We see that most clearly at the cross. What at first sight looks like defeat and weakness, through the eyes of faith is victory and strength. Victory over death. Victory over the power of sin. This last week or so, I guess we've gone through the whole range of emotions. That's certainly what I've found. And one of them is that feeling of weakness, isn't it? We feel weak as we miss Helen and Peter. And yet how wonderful it is that we can come to a God, to our God, who specialises in giving strength to the weak. Isaiah 40:29. He gives strength to the weak and increases the power of the weak. I hope in these coming days you'll know something of that. God strengthening you in your weakness.